Hi, welcome to another episode of MYD Global. I'm your host, Leanne Hackman-Carty. In today's episode, I speak with Annie Mustafa-Ramos, a colleague and friend of mine who actually is the program manager for the Business and Resiliency Innovation Project. We're going to talk about how they're doing some innovative programs with Puerto Rican businesses in order to help them become more resilient, as well as some of the tax incentives that the Puerto Rican government has put into place, helping to attract businesses to Puerto Rico. So stay tuned. Hi, Annie. Nice to see you today.
Nice to see you, Julian.
How are you doing?
Doing great.
Good, good. Hey, so before we get started today, just maybe, I know you and I have known each other a very long time. I think it's 100 years. But just tell me, the people who are watching this, just a little bit about your background, because it's a very interesting background.
Thank you so much, Leanne. Of course. My name is Annie Mustafa-Ramos. We use our two last names, and I am from Puerto Rico. I have the opportunity to work for the last 25 more years in all sectors, including academia, including non-for-profit organizations, including my own consulting business, including NGOs and other non-for-profit organizations for the government of Puerto Rico and for the federal government. So basically, I know most of the different activities of each of the industries. I was able to help businesses to establish here in Puerto Rico, from abroad and from here, of course. And last year, 2 years ago, after Maria, the Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, I was able to help them after the disaster. Now I am helping them become resilient in the event of a disaster.
Yeah, and I know I had an opportunity to visit with you in November and see some of the work you're doing firsthand. So can you tell me specifically that program that you're running, that business resiliency innovation piece, what's all involved in it?
Yes, I am the program manager at the moment for the Resiliency and Business Innovation. It is a grant from the Economic Development Administration given to the Puerto Rico Science, Technology, and Research Trust, which is a non-for-profit organization. Our basic mission is to help businesses in Puerto Rico to become resilient in the event of a disaster, specifically Hurricane Maria. We have two major things, basically. One is to identify those businesses that have created an innovation and have the opportunity to be commercialized. Also, we are looking for those businesses that implemented an innovation due to the disaster and can be replicated and can be used as a case study. And also, we are also doing seminars like the one that you did here in Puerto Rico. And we are working on a curriculum, especially for disaster for businesses, to take the curriculum and to train other people to understand better the resiliency part after a disaster.
Well, and that's important work that you're doing. So I'm really happy that you're heading that up, because I think a lot of businesses don't think about their preparedness and things they can do in advance to ensure their overall resilience. So that's fantastic. One of the other things that I saw when I was there, and you pointed out these opportunity zones in various parts of Puerto Rico, and also the Act, I think you've said it's called Act 60 now. Can you just explain a little bit about what that is and what that means to people who might consider investing into Puerto Rico?
Definitely. Puerto Rico has been in a depressed years for like 12 years now, and at the time, a couple of years ago, the government of Puerto Rico implemented a plan to attract investors and to develop businesses specifically in the area of export services. For this, they created what is called, as of December 31st, Act 20, which is the development or the creation of businesses, specifically focusing on export businesses. For example, call centers or radiologists or doctors doing their services from Puerto Rico to their clients in the United States, for example. Also architects, engineers that can also work from Puerto Rico and give service to Latin America or other parts of the world, okay? They only pay only 4% for their income related to these export services. On the other hand, there's another very popular act, which is Act 22, is to attract investors or wealthy people to come live in the island and become residents. They only pay, they have a 0% on capital gains and dividends, which is very attractive.
Yeah.
If they become residents of Puerto Rico. And because they are residents of Puerto Rico, the people of Puerto Rico, they do not pay federal taxes, okay? Both of these acts after January the 1st to, you know, like 1 week ago, become part of Act 60, which makes it easier to find, okay? So the prerequisites are basically the same. They change a little bit. But in overall, it's 4% for export services and 0% on capital gains and dividends for the new residents of Puerto Rico.
That's great. I mean, so I know you're looking at ways to generate new opportunities in Puerto Rico, and I think strategically, you guys are a very interesting location, just given your relationship with the U.S., in the Caribbean, with Latin America, speaking Spanish. Yes. I mean, you've got all these different assets that make you a very unique location. And so,
yes, we have a Spanish and Latin American culture, but also understand the American culture as well, and all our laws and legal aspects and taxes are under the U.S. system. So yeah, it makes it easier, you know, for people to do business here.
Yeah. So given your background, I mean, you've got the academic, you've got the economic development, you've got the business resiliency, you've got all this different background in international trade. Where would you say are some of the primary areas for people looking at Puerto Rico from an outside view? If I were a type of business, what kind of opportunities do you see as potentially very exciting on your side?
We are looking a lot for technology and of course the export services. And when you match that, you know, it's a win-win situation for everybody who wants to establish companies in the areas of technology here in Puerto Rico.
Okay, that's great. Well, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No, we're just looking forward to see you soon again and work with you, and hope we can get through this other challenge that we are facing for the last week, and you know, our earthquakes today. So,
well, you guys stay safe.
Becoming more resilient each day.
Exactly, exactly. And you stay safe and take care, and we'll talk soon.